Your subconscious is running your reality, and today I'm going to show you how to use that in your favor. Hey, I'm Steph, a functional nervous system practitioner and hypnotherapist, and I specialize in helping people train their subconscious minds to heal and overcome things like chronic anxiety, chronic symptoms, chronic pain, and even chronic illness. Okay, so let's get into it. Part 1, what the subconscious actually does. Let's make this simple and practical so that you can understand and know that it's not just all spiritual woo-woo mumbo jumbo. Your subconscious is responsible for storing patterns, pairing sensations with emotions, managing fear, managing safety. It automates your reactions. It interprets your physical and emotional world. And it basically decides how your body responds before you can even think. It's fast, it's efficient, and
damn, is it stubborn.
You know that moment when you feel something weird in your body and your mind starts spinning into worst case scenarios before you can even catch your breath? That's actually not you, that is your subconscious showing off its speed. Your conscious, logical thinking mind is always late to the party. It shows up like,
what happened?
After the panic attacks have already started. Okay, so here's why chronic anxiety and chronic symptoms, whether it's related to chronic illness, pain, or fatigue, get stuck. When something scares you enough times, whether that's a panic attack, dizziness, hormonal chaos, chronic symptoms like chronic pain or fatigue, your subconscious memorizes that. Not because you're weak, but because that's its job. Your subconscious does not store logical thinking, it does not store facts, it stores experiences. So if your body freaked out once, or 10 times straight, or for an entire year, your subconscious lodges that into the pattern of your body, into the memory, noting it as danger. This sensation equals danger. And now, if something reminds it of that sensation or gets that same sensation again, no matter what you're doing, whether you're safe or not, your body will begin to react as if you're in danger. This is why chronic symptoms repeat, this is why anxiety repeats, and this is why random sensations or even somebody else's tone of voice can suddenly feel dramatic, because your subconscious is using that old information. So whether you're actually safe or not, your subconscious doesn't update automatically. It needs new input. Your subconscious basically sees a moment where your heart skipped a beat and says,
perfect, let's build our entire personality around this.
But here's the fun part that you've been waiting for. This is how your subconscious actually changes. Here's some practical ways that you can use your subconscious to update your entire life starting now. I have personally used these things to overcome things like chronic anxiety and chronic illness, and I've used these same things with clients for overcoming all kinds of things, whether it's anxiety, depression, getting more motivation and creativity, manifesting, and overcoming fears and phobias. So if you really want to dive in, get out your notebook because this is going to change your life. All right, so we're going to break this down into 4 methods, and method 1 is called mental rehearsal. Imagery is actually one of the fastest ways to influence the subconscious because your subconscious doesn't actually distinguish between a vividly imagined experience versus an actual real one. I know. That's why if you fall into a daydream and in that daydream something dramatic happens, it actually gives you that adrenaline rush. So here's how to use that to your advantage for healing. Pick one outcome you want, whether it's waking up calmer, handling a symptom with less panic, going through your day with more ease, trusting your body more, feeling more grounded, feeling more motivated. And then, it's gonna sound simple and maybe a little delusional, but it works. Imagine yourself doing that thing. Not perfectly, just realistically, with as much detail as possible. Now, this is actually scientifically backed. And a lot of famous athletes use this method to help them be more successful in their games. So an example of how you would apply this is, let's say you're dealing with chronic illness or chronic anxiety. You can imagine yourself feeling a sensation, and instead of panicking or spiraling, you see yourself just softening, accepting it, and then continuing what you're doing. Not zen, not bliss, but neutral. Rehearse this with as much detail as possible. Pretend that you're really in that moment. And you only have to do this for like 60 to 90 seconds daily to begin to build that repetition, that consistency, so the subconscious can begin to rewire that pattern. This gives your subconscious a new reference point. Because right now, your subconscious has only been shown the disaster version of events and you're giving it that alternate ending. All right, method 2 is called expectation conditioning. This is huge because your subconscious listens more to what you expect than what you think. If every time you feel a symptom, you say something like, oh,
Here we go again.
your subconscious reinforces that loop. But if you shift the expectation to, I've felt this before, not a big deal, I can handle it, you're redirecting the file. This is literal training for your brain. So an example of different phrases that you might use when you feel a sensation, whether it's from anxiety or chronic symptoms, you could say something like, this is familiar. This has happened before, nothing bad happened. My body does weird shit sometimes, but I'm fine. Not dangerous, just annoying.
I've lived through this 900 times. I can do it again.
Expectation is basically telling your subconscious, let's not be dramatic today. Method 3 is sensory reassociation, and this one is powerful as and that's because your subconscious attaches emotions to sensations. So if dizziness scared you once, your subconscious now attaches the sensation of dizziness with fear. And to break that, you need to intentionally pair old sensations with new meaning. Example of this is if you start to feel heart palpitations that usually make you spiral. Instead of panicking, you would pair it with a small action. Something that feels good or even neutral, something that you would be doing if you weren't panicking. This can be simple, like taking a sip of water, touching a soft blanket, brushing your hair, or if you really want to confuse this shit out of your subconscious, crack a smile. It doesn't matter what you choose, the point is that you're pairing a previously feared sensation with something neutral. And with repetition and consistency, your subconscious will register this as the new emotional tone. It's like retraining a dog, but the dog is your entire personality. All right, method 4 is honestly amazing, and it's called state priming. You're gonna feel like you've unlocked a secret universal code on this one. Your subconscious is most open when you first wake up, when you're falling asleep, when you're relaxed, when you're listening to a calm voice, when you're focused inward, or when you're in visualization or hypnosis. This is why things like hypnosis work so well, because your brain becomes more suggestible. So here's what you can do. In the morning, when you first wake up, choose your intention for the day. And as you choose that intention, pair it with emotion. Use that mental rehearsal to visualize what you want to achieve for that day. Really get yourself into it and see as much detail as you can in that imagery. And then at night, maybe listen to a calming visualization, meditation, or hypnosis. And during the day, when a moment hits, use that expectation conditioning, which remember is responding neutrally to the sensations that come up that used to bother you. And that is how you prime your subconscious to learn faster. You can choose one of these methods and begin to use it to see how it changes your life. And if you are like,
I go big or go home.
use all 4, because this is where symptoms and your life starts changing. When your subconscious stops labeling sensations as dangerous, your physical reactions soften and your symptoms lose intensity. Fear stops snowballing, your body becomes less reactive, anxiety stops feeling like catastrophe, and chronic pain patterns and symptoms loosen. This is literally how the brain learns. At the end of the day, it's important to remember that your subconscious does not hate you, it's just committed to keeping you safe. And just remember, if your subconscious starts spiraling later, just take a moment to acknowledge it, say, cute, and keep going with your life. Just remember, you're not doomed to suffer with chronic anxiety or chronic symptoms forever. It's your subconscious programming, and that can change. If you need help reprogramming your subconscious quicker, my Brain Body Reclaim audio program has changed lives, and it's the exact methods that changed my life too. It's designed to give your subconscious those repeated, consistent inputs that it needs to update those old patterns. If you're not quite ready to commit with that, you can start with my free 7-day calm kit. Both are linked below. And if you liked the video, if you found it interesting and you want to know more about this stuff, you want me to keep going, please give this video a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. Or just pass it along to anyone else's subconscious who loves drama, which, let's be honest, is basically the entire internet. I will see you guys next week with a new video that I'm so excited for, and as always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and if you need any help or have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. The links to get a hold of me are in the description below.